Hello everyone, welcome back to another podcast. Apologies that I haven't been very active on YouTube. Just had a lot of crap going on really. But we've got the podcast today, so we've got 5 people, including me. We've got Chris Bromstar.
Hey everybody.
MEWWW1. Captain Cummings.
Yep.
And Gambit 896.
Hey everybody.
And our lovely host, the velvety voiced Jay.
Hi there. Thank you. So, I believe you have a question for us, Mr. Mac.
Indeed, I do. Out of all the comic book characters that you guys read, which would you say is the most similar to you in terms of personality? If that's even a question. Yeah. There you go.
It's really difficult.
You know, I think I know for me, especially now reading the A versus X stuff, I find that Colossus is kind of real similar because he's got that sensibility and stuff. You know, he's a big dude who's kind of spooky looking and stuff, but you know, he struggles with the whole, you know, he's got the power to do like great things now that he's, you know, got the Phoenix Force going on, but then at the same time he struggles with just wanting to be that country boy kind of thing. And not that I have any Phoenix Force going on, but you know how people struggle with, you know, wanting to be good all the time, but then you struggle with wanting to beat people to death with like a dog or something. And you know, I struggle with that. So so I don't know if that made any sense at all, but I'll go with that.
I'd probably have to go with Spider-Man, especially in the beginning of the Amazing Spider-Man, when probably not even really Spider-Man, but Peter Parker. It's like the geeky, nerdy kid that wasn't very good at sports and everything, and then you know, it's
turning into a stud with a hot girlfriend.
Yeah. But less of the stud.
Wait a minute, I want to be Peter Parker. Can I change my answer?
You're just Colossus.
Damn.
Yeah.
I get Kitty and a dragon, though.
I'd have to pick Captain Marvel because when I chase Shazam, I'm magical.
And contestant number 4 on Blind Date.
How about you, Jay? Come on.
Oh, I'm not sure.
Don't make us answer for you. Come on.
Because it will be Rocket Raccoon.
Furry and lovable.
Or maybe even Puck. What was that?
Rocket Raccoon.
Oh, man.
My mind is blank right now.
Well, to give Jay a bit more thinking time, what about you, Gambit, Ben? What do you think?
Mine's kind of a two-part kind of answer. Certainly when I was younger, because of the stuff that was going on with me at the time, I'd have to say probably John Constantine from Hellblazer. Certainly when I was younger. I was, well, safe to say I just did things my own way, and, you know, I didn't really, you know, much at the time anyway, care what people thought about me. I just did things my own way and just, you know, went about, you know, everyday stuff, and that was it. And then certainly recently anyway, I'd have to say Hal Jordan from Green Lantern, except without the whole, really awesome powers and going into space and all that. I'd have to say the main thing I kind of relate to with Hal Jordan is the fact that he's the kind of guy that, he always tries to do the right thing. Ultimately, sometimes he does screw up, but ultimately he always tries to correct his mistakes, and that's kind of something that I relate to on a very personal level at times. So, yeah, is my answer.
Cool.
So pretty much a demon worshiping Satanist at the beginning, but now you're more like a cop.
Yeah.
No, that's a good answer, man. That's a good one. What did you guys from the weekly poll list this week with what came out? What did you guys read that really kind of knocked your socks off?
Oh, as much as I hate to admit it, because I didn't think the whole series was going to be that good, I'd have to say Before Watchmen Rorschach.
That was really good, wasn't it?
Mm.
What'd you like about it?
I actually feel that they've got the character in that one.
That's what I was thinking too.
Down to the T.
They really nailed it, didn't they? That character in the Silk Spectre, they've really done a really good job knocking that right out of the park.
Yeah, I mean, who was it who wrote it again? It was Brian Azzarello, and he does do this like the crime noir stories really well.
Yeah, he's the guy who did the that Joker graphic novel a little while back.
Oh,
Yeah.
that was so good.
That was really good as well.
I haven't bought that, but I need to.
Yeah,
It's awesome.
that was a brilliant.
What
one.
if we found out Alan Moore comes out at the end after all this is done and it's like, I wrote all the books.
That'd be awesome.
It would make like everybody's head explode.
Everybody would be scrambling to buy him then.
That's not going to happen though.
No. Well, supposedly Alan Moore turned down $2 million to give his blessing on the Before Watchmen comics.
Well,
Just to give his blessing on it?
Allegedly, on the internet it says allegedly.
Oh, that sounds like yes.
Is it Ian Gibbons who done the artwork?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was given like about $500,000 to say that yes, he gave his blessing for the Before Watchmen series that are coming out, and they offered DC offered Alan Moore $2 million to say that you're happy for it to happen, and he said, no, I'm not going to do it.
that's ridiculous.
I mean, if it's true, I think more, more respect for the bloke for turning down $2 million just for saying yes, buy this comic.
That's insane. That's insane. I would eat a live chicken for like $50. You know what I mean? I mean,
Where's my
gee.
wallet?
Yeah. Hang on a minute. Let me think that over. Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, man. Obviously, he's got more than $2 million to turn something like that down.
Well, I don't know. I mean, unless he's just really, setting his convictions and that.
Well, if you don't care about money, if you do it if you actually do it for the art form instead of caring about money, because I mean he's obviously got enough money to survive on if he's turning down money.
Yeah.
Because if he was somebody that had an addiction or something,
Have you seen him? He looks like he's got every addiction going. I mean, that's what I used to look like when I was in my heyday of like speed, acid, weed, and drinking, man. Like,
Oh man, I was reading this Grant Morrison interview, And it was funny because he said he was reading some book, and he was like, there was 2 rape scenes at the end of the book. And Grant Morrison was like, I've written comics for like 25 years and never had 1 rape scene in any of my books. He's like, and he was like, Alan Moore has one like every single issue.
Every third panel's a rape scene.
Oh, man.
Oh boy.
So is that going to be the start of the Moore-Morrison wars, is it?
Maybe his reasoning for turning down the money is because the V for Vendetta movie with Hugo Weaving and Natalie Portman. Apparently, when that came out, Alan Moore apparently very publicly said that he was going to he wasn't going to associate himself with the movie in any way because he felt that it was too detrimental to the original source material. But I don't know. I'm just guessing that might be a reason. I don't know. But yeah.
I think he does have a really big beef with DC Comics for the way that they've treated him, or the way that he's perceived them to have treated him in the past.
I think it's more of a perceived of treating, because if they're giving him $2 million, if they were going to give him $2 million, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't just hand money out to people. So I mean, they're yeah.
I don't know. They paid Rob Liefeld. So.
That was
he drives and draws.
That was a contractual thing, though.
Yeah.
If it wasn't on paper, we wouldn't give him anything.
Rob, if you draw 3 toes on your feet, we'll give you 30 grand. Done.
They had to pay him $50 per toe.
Jim Lee must have turned around to Dan Didio and gone, Dan, I've got this special friend. He needs help. I've taken him everywhere I've been. Can you give him a job? Just stick him on anything. Hawk and Dove, Deathstroke, something that ain't going to last long. He'll be fine. He'll be happy.
Hawkeye.
25 years later, Jim Lee's on the Assassin Guild website going, I got this friend I need killed.
Apparently, Rob Liefeld is, I think he's either doing the writing or the artwork on Deathstroke for the New 52, and I was going to pick up the first trade when that comes out, but if the next issues are as bad as people are sort of perceiving them to be, I don't think I'm going to be picking up the, I don't think I'm just going to pick up the first trade and then just read that and not pick up the rest, but I don't know.
Is Deathstroke going to be eating chimichangas and breaking the 4th wall?
Could be.
I mean, the best comment I've seen anybody have on Liefeld lately has been, I sent Phil a video of Stan Lee and Liefeld. Stan Lee's razzing him basically the whole time, and he's going like, "Hurry up, let's go." So Liefeld just like finished this character as quick as he can. It looks horrible, and the first comment underneath the video says, "And Liefeld's work still looks like this," and this was like 20 years ago. And there was all these thumbs up, and I thought I said that is the most brilliant comment I've ever seen, and I think that sums it up. His work. Not that his work is like horrible. I'm not going to say it's horrible, but it still looks like it does from the 80s. It really does. It doesn't look like he's progressed as an artist to me at all.
Yeah. Yeah, totally agree.
Some people's don't, though. Like, I mean, one of the all-time greats, Joe Kubert, who we lost, a few days ago, his work got to a plateau where it was like perfection, and he just couldn't go further than that. All his stuff was beautiful. It was perfect. He didn't go downhill. And some people don't go any further up in their career. some people don't go any further down, and some people just reach this plateau where they stay there, and it's good work anyways. But you know, I think it would be better to reach a plateau than to not go up at all.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Just
I mean,
have
even-
some.
yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was going to say at least have some evolution in your work, some form of bettering yourself rather than just drawing exactly the same style every sort of time.
Yeah. I mean, even if you go down in your career, like, now I'm not saying that these guys are not great, because they are, but Neil Adams' work is not the same that it used to be. But he had these great years in the 70s, man, where everything he did was just gold.
Avengers.
And yeah, and Deadman and stuff like that. Now it's a little bit different. It's not the same. Bernie Wrightson's stuff is not exactly the same, but some of his stuff to me looks better now. Some of it looks a little worse, but he's somebody who fluctuates between greatness and kind of plateauing out too. So it's hard to tell with everybody.
Doesn't Neil Adams have like a? He always like draws like chest hair and arm hair all over everybody.
Yeah.
Because they were, I can't remember who it was, but they were pointing that out like every time that Batman Odyssey came out. Where they're like, "Yep, Bruce Wayne's got a lot of arm hair on this issue."
Yeah, yeah. He's the only guy that draws Sinead O'Connor with like a big, huge bouffant.
Everybody looks like Robin Williams.
Nobody wants to look like
Woohoo! Nanu nanu. Ooh.
He's one of those. He's one of those actors that are comedians that like I thought he was the funniest guy in the world when I was like 10,
Yep.
and now I just think he's like obnoxious. I mean, not to say that he's not funny at all, but there's a reason that like he's only done movies like Flubber in the last 20 years.
Flubber.
Yeah. Yeah. He really never should have dried out, should he?
Yeah, that's pretty bad when you have to tell people that they should go back on the drugs. Look, here's some smack. Just take this and go back on stage.
Although one example of Robin Williams that'll always sort of stick in my mind from when I was younger was when he did the voice work for the genie in the Aladdin Disney movie. But yeah, that was I love watching that movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Partly because of Robin Williams' comedy with the genie and whatnot. So, yeah.
Yeah, all his voice work has just been amazing. He's great at that.
Yeah. And one thing, well, kind of a sad thing, again, talking about voice work. Mark Hamill, who you will all obviously know as the Joker from the Batman animated series and the, on the video games and such, and obviously being Luke Skywalker in the original Star Wars movie. Apparently, he's not going to come back for if there's another Batman video game. He's not going to come back and do the voice of the Joker. But I do think there's one or two people that might be able to do a good fill-in. But I think when you think of the Joker, I mean, most people think of Mark Hamill anyway. So it's kind of sad that he's not going to come back. But I mean, he's been doing the characters.
Well, maybe it brings open a new spot that they can put a different villain in, because the Joker's been the main villain in both those games, pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like the Batman fights other people.
True.
True.
I was going to say just now about the evolving of artists' illustration styles or drawing styles. One style that I think most people would agree, and I'm sure you guys will as well. One guy that really didn't really evolve his art style all that much, from what I can tell, was Jack Kirby. But of course, I mean, Jack was always, to turning out some great stuff anyway, and I don't think his art style really changed all that much from what I've seen of his, from his X-Men stuff and some of the other work that he's done. So yeah, that's a kind of an example of, you don't really need to change it all that much because it's so version-based. But
Well, his Golden Age stuff seems to be different from like when he started in the Silver Age, and the Silver Age from then on looked pretty much, was like the Kirby artwork then. If I think, anyways, I could be wrong.
Yeah. But I mean, the thing with Jack Kirby was that his artwork, as you said, was constantly good. So in a way, he didn't need to get better because everything. I mean, you look at Commandy and OMAC. I mean, they were just completely crazy out there comics, but the artwork in it was just fantastic.
Yeah.
And he was drawing like 24/7. All that guy did was draw. Like from the time he was up to the time he went to bed, he just drew.
Yeah.
I mean, his body of work is so vast that, I mean, if you see him in videos where he actually draws, it's hard to believe that he got as much work done as he did because he draws in these quick little sketchy, like 3mm line, movements. Like he's not fluid or anything. Like you see guys now, they're drawing these huge parts of characters in like one line and stuff. And Kirby was using like 1,000 lines to get an arm done, it seemed like, and stuff. It's just amazing how much stuff he did when he drew. It was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Scott, that picture I showed you of that comic book that never happened.
Yeah.
The Punisher, the Prisoner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that artwork, you can see how much detail he put into the pages.
Yeah, why don't you tell everybody about that, Mark? Because that's awesome.
Yeah, I was just having a look on the internet this afternoon, as I usually do, reading stuff, and I found out that there was a. Does everybody remember the TV series The Prisoner with Patrick McGowan in it?
No.
Rings
No.
a bell.
I've heard of
Yeah.
it, but never seen it.
It was about a guy who worked for a government agency, and he resigned, and then he was, because he knew too much about what was going on with the government agency and everything around him, he was kidnapped and taken to a place called The Village, which was this really surreal place where everybody were these like ex-agents and that. It only ran for about 2 series in the 1960s.
Mhm.
But supposedly Marvel was going to make a comic adaptation of it in the 1970s, which never took off. And I found one page of the artwork from Jack Kirby, and I'm just sending everybody the link there now.
It's and like, I mean, the show was, for me, I discovered that show in the late 80s. They were running it on TVO, a Canadian kind of an artsy channel, like a public broadcasting, like a PBS thing. And I discovered that show at like midnight. They were running it, and I was mesmerized by that show. I'd never seen anything like it. Still to this day, there's nothing like that. Patrick McGowan was in a show before that called Danger Man,
Yeah.
and everybody swears who watches Danger Man. Everybody swears that the character in The Prisoner is his character from Danger Man, because you never get his name in The Prisoner. It never refers to his name. He's just referred to for two. And or number 6, sorry, and it's amazing because the show tackles so many like world issues that were going on, even like the freedom of thought, the freedom of speech, and all this kind of stuff during the 60s. And the show is just amazing, and I think it would have been like one of the most epic things that Kirby would have done if he had done that, because like because the show was so, it had the voice of the people back then. I think Kirby drawing it would have just been friggin' amazing.
Yeah.
And I love that page, man. Like that page, when you showed me that, I was in awe. I was just staring at this page like, oh my god.
Yeah. I don't know how long it's been up on the internet, but I mean, like I said, that's the first time I've seen that.
Yeah, I've never seen it. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get that tattooed on my bum.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
The whole thing, including the tree.
Yeah, the whole page, man.
Yeah.
Well, maybe not. I don't know if that'd be a good thing on my bum, the prisoner. So.
The prisoner.
Who is number bum?
Number 2.
I am number 2. You are number 6.
New number 2.
Number 1's around the other side.
Yeah. Oh my.
But yeah, if you haven't seen the TV series The Prisoner, see if you can get hold of a couple of old episodes if you can. It's really good. As it got on, it got more and more surreal, and the very last episode of it was just so, you could tell that they knew that they were going to get cancelled, and they just chucked everything in there. It was one of the most manic pieces of television you've ever seen. I think the last episode of The Prisoner.
Oh, it was. I had no idea what the hell was going on, because you knew that they were trying to just mess with your head in that one, because I was just like, what the hell are they talking about? Most of the dialogue doesn't even make sense.
I know, it was like all weird, so like beatnik rhyming dialogue.
Yeah. And the midget
style.
guy turns out to be a good guy, and I was so happy about that because I love my midgets. So. Wow.
So yeah.
Did anybody else read Saga this week?
Not yet.
What was that?
That was my fart because I'm mad at the distributors for not getting one that's Pika.
Oh yeah, you didn't get it, did you?
No.
Well, it was a really good issue. I guess the only thing that kind of sucked was the stock is dead. We were kind of hoping maybe she wasn't, but she's dead. So.
Oh right, okay.
It's fantasy, so they might be able to clone her or something and bring her back.
Yeah. Are you reading Saga Gambit?
I'm not, but I've just I think it was last night or the night before. I pre-ordered the first trade of Saga with the first 6 issues, so I'm really excited to delve into Saga when the trade, to the door and I start reading it. So yeah. To be honest, I tend to pick up my comics or my comics in graphic novel or trade form, just because it's a bit more it's just a bit more cost effective for me personally. So I tend to wait for stuff to come out in trade before I delve into it. But
Yeah.
But no, I'm really excited to read Saga when it gets delivered. It can't come any sooner because I just recently watched Ghost Critic's most recent comic book review week video, and he gave the 6th issue of Saga a standing ovation. So I'm really excited to see where what all the fuss is. Not that that's meant to sound in a bad way. I'm just eager to see what all the fuss is about with this comic. So
It's probably one of the best books that I've read for three things in a comic that is going on that's perfect. First one is there's a narrative going on that is it's a behind the scenes narrative, but at the same time it's also a futuristic narrative. So that is going on the whole time that the story is happening. And while the story is happening, it introduces you to so many characters, landscapes, planets, societies at the same time that you can't even take it all in. Like, you just want to know more about everything. And then the third thing is the characterization of your main characters and your secondary characters are so well done that I was emotionally invested in these people after the first issue, and that is almost unheard of for me. I can like just kind of throw a book down after a first or second issue and not even think about it, but Saga wasn't like that. So those three things are so powerful. I think you'll really like it.
Well, based on what you've said, I mean, I'm all the more eager to read it, when it when it gets delivered. I mean, like I said, the day when it comes through the post, it can't come any sooner. I'm really excited for it. So, I think Image is probably the best of the publishers at the moment, in my personal opinion. I mean, I'm reading at the moment. I've got 2 series from Image at the moment, just because money is a bit tight at the moment. But Chew by John Layman and Rob Guillory, and Morning Glories by Nick Spencer and Joe Eisner are probably 2 of my favorite comics that I've got in my entire collection. And it's just funnily enough that they're both from Image. So yeah, I do have to say that Image is probably one of the best best publishers at the moment that are obviously putting books out at the minute. So yeah.
Well, I think that one thing that's so refreshing about Image is, none of their none of their books are part of a major universe like the other 2 companies are. So like, you jump into an Image book, it's #1, and you have no idea what's going on any backstory or anything until you start reading it, and it's fresh and new.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that too. You're right.
Just a quick question, guys, about Todd McFarlane's Spawn. Again, another Image book. Apparently, the first 100 issues were really, really good, and then after the 100th issue, it went really downhill. Is that actually? Do you think that's true in your honest opinions? If any of you, read Spawn, or is that just kind of? Is that not exactly true? I'm just wondering what your opinions are on that, just out of interest.
I can't tell you.
No worries.
I've never read Spawn, truthfully, so I can't even really give an opinion on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
No worries.
I was going to say I only read Spawn for sort of like the first 10 or 12 issues when it first came out.
Yeah.
But I mean, they were really good. You could definitely see that Todd McFarlane put a lot more effort into writing Spawn than he did do writing for Marvel Comics and Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You could tell that was his baby, and he wanted it to do as well as he could.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard the same thing, that it's sort of like it went downhill.
Yeah.
Like after the 100th issue or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I first became interested when I watched the animated series with Keith David, provided the when he did the voice work for Spawn. So I guess my interest is probably more based around the animated series more than anything. But I'll probably pick up a couple of trades of the Origins or something at some point. I don't know.
Yeah. I was going to say, whatever you do, don't pick up the movie.
Oh no. God. I actually I watched the movie. Well, I borrowed the movie off a friend, and I watched it about an hour after he gave it to me, and I rang him up and I said, are you doing anything at the moment? He said, no, why? And I said, I want to return this absolutely awful movie to your hands. Like, really for watching it. I was like, ah. So I took it back to him, and he said, what was wrong with it? And I said, well, it's just,
Have you
I'm
watched
sorry.
this
It's
movie?
just a dreadful movie. Yeah.
So, did you ever see the cover to it? Especially the back cover, where you got all the pictures that are supposed to be from the movie.
Yeah.
And there was a woman in there with long red hair and a green dress that's supposed to have been a pivotal character in the movie.
Yeah.
But allegedly they cut the movie so badly that she didn't even appear in the whole film. But she still appeared on the back of the cover.
Oh wow, that's bad.
So,
Go on. Finish what you
that'd be like buying a Tarzan movie and you can't find Cheetah anywhere in it.
yeah, exactly. I can't remember what the actual character was. Whether it was supposed to be somebody like was it Glory, the one that Neil Gaiman created?
Oh, Angela.
Angela, yeah. I don't know if it was supposed to be like her. But yeah, this character is supposed to be quite pivotal in the whole story.
Yeah.
And they just completely cut the character out, and the movie made hardly any sense whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, I remember thinking it was awesome when I was like 12.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can always tell, a movie when I was younger and I thought it was awesome. I'll be like, maybe I should watch that again, and I'm like, wait a second, I haven't seen this movie in like 20 years. It's probably not as good as I thought it was.
Well,
I did that with the Garbage Pail Kids, and it was like 10 times better than I remembered when I was a kid.
Oh man!
So everybody go out and buy that movie because it's awesome.
I've got it somewhere here. Garbage Pail Kids.
Good. See, I knew you'd have that, man.
I've got all kinds of stuff.
You have every cool thing that I have. That's the funny thing, man. Everything I say, this is so cool. You're like, oh, I got that.
I've got it here somewhere. I mean, I've got a sort of really small flat, so it's probably in my vault somewhere. But I know I might have to dig it out. What was I going to say? Yeah, I think that can be said for a lot of things, but from your childhood and that. The fact that when you remember watching it, it was really cool, but then you watch it again, and it's like, and I like this?
Yeah.
Some things get better, though. Some things do get better, like all the Mad Max movies are way better.
Yeah. Does anybody remember seeing a TV... Does anybody remember seeing a TV series called Automan?
No.
I think it only went on for might have only gone on for about 13 episodes. It was about a guy who created the first artificial intelligence that was also a hard light hologram character that could exist in the real world.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and he had a little sort of like sparkly thing he called cursor.
Yeah.
That would draw in midair, and it would turn into a helicopter or a car or a boat. And he used to, when he was driving the car, he used to do 90-degree turns.
Man, I haven't thought about that for years.
Yeah, when I was younger, I used to absolutely love it. I used to love watching it on a Saturday evening and that. And just recently, I saw the first episode again, and I was like, "Oh dear!" And I used to like watching this.
That's like Man from Atlantis. I remember thinking how cool that was, and then watching that again, and then thinking, "Oh my God, this guy should have stayed on Dallas."
Sue Ellen never should have woken up.
Yeah.
Or what was the other one? Oh, Manimal.
Oh, Manimal, that was an awesome show.
Manimal.
I saw clips from that Spider-Man live action show,
Oh.
and they had Stan Lee talking about it, and he was like, trying to talk to the studio, and they were like, "We don't care what you got to say. We're just gonna do it this way."
He had those big friggin' bracelets on. Oh,
Well, the worst thing was they actually brought those big bracelets into the comic, didn't they?
uh-huh.
Into the 90s.
Yeah. It's like, didn't you people see the movie? Like, geez. Some people were standing up throwing stuff at the screen. What the hell?
Speaking of Spider-Man, what did you guys think of the new Amazing Spider-Man movie with I can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head, but the most recent reboot of the movie. What did you guys think?
Have you seen Spawn? I think I enjoyed that movie better.
Oh, I haven't actually seen it yet, but I don't. Well, I think I might. I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah. It was okay, but I'm thinking of seeing if I could get it done by trade descriptions for saying it was amazing.
Yeah. But that's the thing with movies. They I mean, you see all these TV adverts for the movies and stuff. They always put really silly overhyped like 4 or 5 stars or give it some really standing ovation, and then you go and see it and you think, what the hell? They overhyped it. This what? Seriously? Yeah.
I mean, if you compared it to the other movies that came out this year, comic book wise,
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't seen Batman yet, and I haven't seen Ghost Rider, but I'm sure, Batman and Avengers are battling for first,
Yeah.
and Spider-Man might be above Ghost Rider. Because I've heard Ghost Rider was god awful also.
Yeah. I heard that it was really. I mean, probably the best comic book movie that I've seen in 2012 would have to be The Avengers. But then again, that might be because I'm a big fan of Joss Whedon anyway, so it's still a really good movie. But
Well, don't forget there is one more comic book movie coming out this year in September.
What is
It's
it?
the new Judge Dredd movie,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
just called
I heard-
Dredd.
It's not going to be anything like the original, though, what I understand.
No,
Isn't
hopefully not.
it Johnny Knoxville playing him?
No,
No.
it's not Johnny
it's not.
Knoxville. You keep saying that.
I know. Every time I watch the trailer, it looks like Johnny Knoxville.
I hate Johnny Knoxville just because he's so
Do you
dumb.
think somebody's going to come up to Judge Dredd in the middle of the movie and shoot paintball pellets into his nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah, a little kid's going to kick him in the nuts and run off.
Time for judgment. Oh, jeez! Everybody runs out.
Are you ready to roll, Judge Wee Man?
Yeah.
Judge Weekends.
On a skateboard.
Oh, dear.
I went into the Batman movie ready to hate it, and I walked out just loving that movie. I thought it was so friggin' well done. But I know that the Amazing Spider-Man won't be like that. I'm sure that I'll walk out probably dry heaving, real horrible.
It's not Peter Parker.
Well, yeah.
I mean, this kid's like an emo kid that hates life, and you know what I mean.
It's like somebody from Joy Division putting on the suit. Like, that was a musical reference to all you noobs out there.
Yeah.
I didn't know what that
Mark
was.
got it.
Oh, I forgot to. Did you guys hear about Ben Affleck? Apparently, he's going to direct the Justice League movie.
Oh, really?
yeah.
Allegedly, but allegedly.
Has he directed anything before?
Con?
so.
We're getting an
He-
echo. We're getting an echo.
Oh god. Fix this stupid thing.
What?
Hello, hello,
Is it still
hello.
echoing?
No, that's good.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah, he's directed a couple of movies. One was called Town.
And Geely.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah.
I actually visited the bank they robbed in that movie. It's actually only like 30 minutes like north of where I live.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What else did he direct, Mark?
Let's check it out.
Yeah, check it out. That's what the internet's for.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck.
I know
He used to be engaged to J Lo.
Let's have a look. Directorial debuts.
I think in The Town, I think he both directed it and I think he played a key role in it as well. I think. I'm not
Yeah.
entirely sure about that.
Yeah, he was the star of it.
Yeah.
His
The
first
Town.
directorial debut was a student film called "I Killed My Lesbian Wife," hung out on a meat hook, and now I have a three picture deal with Disney.
Well, that sounds like a winner.
Hmm.
In 1993. I'm sure that'll be extras on things like Town or even Justice League movie.
He's also going to be doing a movie. Did we already talk about Argo? Apparently, it's filming right now.
Argo? What's
yeah,
that?
Okay.
It's going to be the rescue. It's a drama film about the rescue of 6 U.S. diplomats from Iran during the 1979 Iran hostage crisis.
Oh yeah, I saw
It's
the.
supposed to come out, or it began filming in September 11, and it's released this year.
We saw the trailer for that when we went and saw Batman. It looked like it was gonna suck, but I don't like those kind of movies, anyways.
I don't like it. Yeah,
That's a
'cause-
Scott sleeping movie right there.
Well, whenever I'm watching it, it feels like it's just got some sort of agenda they're trying to push on you, and you're like, I don't care. You know,
You don't
Give me some calm. Some explosions.
bad stuff happened. I'm sorry. I
Set
don't
everybody
care.
on fire.
I forgot that he was a writer, though.
Yeah.
I have to say though, in terms of not really a bad comic book movie, but I know that obviously Ben Affleck starred as Daredevil in the 2003 movie. But if you guys actually watch the director's cut of that movie, I think if they'd put the director's cut out as in theaters, I think it would have been a much better received movie than the theatrical cut. But that's just my personal opinion.
Well,
Right.
stuff like that can ruin a movie easily.
And I actually enjoyed the Daredevil movie. I'm probably one of the only people that actually did enjoy it.
I
But
thought
then-
the worst part of that movie was Bullseye, because I love Bullseye, and that guy was the worst Bullseye ever.
Well, that guy doesn't know how to act.
But it was just like they could have, like Bill Cosby could have played a better Bullseye.
I'm going to get you.
I'm gonna kill you with a pudding pop.
Oh man,
Man.
I hate Colin Farrell.
Oh yeah, that's who it was, Colin Farrell. Yeah, that's why
Yeah.
I shot.
I mean, I'm not even looking forward to seeing the new. What movie did he just come out with? Total Recall. Why would
Yeah.
you ruin a movie that I love so much by putting Colin Farrell in it?
You know, they're saying that is going to be one of the worst remakes ever. I've read a whole bunch of stuff. I'm like, this is awesome. They're already saying it's going to be horrible.
Well, has anybody ever seen the? I mean, any of his movies? Alexander the Great, terrible movie, and it's like 5 hours long.
What was that? What was his first one? Was it Beautiful Mind was his first one, wasn't it?
No, that's Ben Affleck. No, that's
No, Clive Owen. No, not Clive Owen. Who's the other dude?
I just watched it the other day.
Yeah, that was a good movie. I like that one.
That was a.
I'm trying to think what Colin Farrell's. Oh, Russell Crowe. That was it.
Yeah,
Russell
that's right.
Crowe.
Russell Crowe. Good
Russell
movie.
Crowe's the perfection of like standing around and looking cool. He doesn't really act.
You know, speaking of Clive Owen, there's a movie out called The Intruder that he was in, and I watched it the other day. Friggin' brilliant movie. Loved it. Loved it. I got a bit of a man love going on for Clive Owen, though, to be honest. A healthy man love, don't get me wrong.
Platonic.
Yep. I only got 2 pictures of him up on the wall.
Oh, that's right. I say 2. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any more than 2 be pushing it.
Yeah.
Speaking of movies, has anybody seen any good movies lately? Even if it's not comic book related, I know I don't taboo, but
I watched a Nick Hatfields and McCoys, that miniseries that was on TV.
oh yeah, you told me about that. How was it?
Well, it starts out and you start feeling like, it's Romeo and Juliet, because you got these 2 families that are in civil war, in a different type of setting. It's these 2 families in the Civil War, and they're feuding, and the state has, brought up martial law. And so they start feuding and killing each other. And, of course, there's 2 people from either side of the families that fall in love, and you're like, oh, so this is Romeo and Juliet. And then by the end of the movie, it's nothing like that at all. I mean, I would say, I wouldn't recommend you just go out and buy it, but it's definitely worth a watch, at least. It's got Christian Slater, of all people. He's in
Oh
it.
wow, I like him. I finally
But,
watched Cabin in the Woods,
All right.
and that bothered me. I had nightmares about it.
Just don't go into the woods.
I mean, Josh Whedon, he's a good director for sure, but that movie was halfway through it. I was just like, okay, something horrible is going to happen here, and not only does something horrible happen, but I mean the end of humanity. I was just like, okay, this is really weird. It was interesting. They always need to see all those monsters and stuff, so I kind of like that part of it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm
I
glad
watched, I watched Platoon this morning.
Platoon.
The Oliver Stone movie, which
Yeah.
he wrote, I think? Yeah. I saw that I saw it in my local HMV on Blu-ray. I was thinking about getting it, but I didn't. But
Oh man, just the stars that are in it, I mean, they weren't back then, but like, if you just look at the credits and all the actors that are in that movie that are just like big names now, it's like, wow. I think it's also a biography of Charlie Sheen's life.
oh,
That's a lie.
I might check that out actually, because I'm a
It's
big
really
fan of Oliver Stone from when he wrote. I think he wrote Scarface with Al Pacino. I think. Wait, he played a part in the writing of it. Anyway, I thought that was a really great movie. But anyway, that's getting off topic. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, tell you the truth, I haven't really been watching many movies recently. I think I've been watching a fair bit of stuff on YouTube, little bits and pieces and that, and I've just had this real interest at the moment for Tiny Tim. I don't know why.
I know why. Because she's crazy.
Yeah.
What is this?
Have you ever heard of Tiny Tim?
No.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Ah,
Yeah. He was an entertainer in the 60s and 70s.
And possibly one of the most creepiest humans on the planet.
Yeah. And he did the song "Tiptoe Through the Tulips." He he had a really high pitch, a falsetto voice.
Yeah, I've heard that song.
I think his testicles were up somewhere near his throat.
And I've just been watching all these sort of like videos and documentaries on him and that, and he is completely crazy.
Oh,
Like
You got-
like Andy Kaufman crazy or worse?
oh no, not even.
Andy Kaufman's nowhere near him. He's-
Andy Kaufman is his armpit hair. You know. I watched when he got married on the Tonight Show. I watched the
Yeah.
rerun of that. That was really interesting.
yeah,
Got married to Miss Vicky.
yeah.
Even his funeral, man. Like, if you look at, I mean, I'm not trying to make fun of somebody who's died, but if you look at pictures of him in the coffin, it's funny. Like, he was so weird looking and so goofy that when you see him in the coffin, like, I remember laughing and thinking, that's not funny. I shouldn't laugh at that. But he just looked so funny. I'm going to find a picture. Just keep talking. I'm going to find a picture of him in the coffin.
But yeah, I mean, I've been just watching these little documentaries and that on him and that, and listening to his music. All right, there was some stuff that he done that was really weird, but he didn't have that bad a voice. I mean, he made about 20 albums in the course of about 20 or 30 years.
Right. I found it. Hang on. Now you won't think I'm nuts here. I'll show you.
You've done that. It reminds me of his first television thing when he sang Tisket a Tasket.
Right. I mean, how's that not funny? Looks like somebody killed him with the guitar.
Oh man.
Oh. To answer your original question about good movies that I've seen this year, I have to say probably the best, barring the Avengers, would have to be the remake or the British remake of The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo with Daniel Craig and I can't remember the actress's name who played Elizabeth, but no, I thought The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo was a really great movie. So, yeah.
I read the comic. They put a comic out of that, and I read the first one. It was really good.
Oh yeah, it's from Vertigo, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Oh, mentioning Daniel Craig's name brought up a question that I just thought of. Since you guys would probably be more of authority than like us from Canada or America, who's the best actor for 007?
Oh boy.
That's difficult.
I mean, I've got a few off the top of my head, but I mean, I can hang on for a second, and if you guys want to answer it, I'll, give my answer at the end or something. Yeah.
Oh no! What happened to Mark?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Mark, no.
I'm kind of enjoying what they got going on with Daniel Craig's franchise right now, though. You know how it's like an ongoing story.
Yeah. I have to say though, the second 007 movie that he brought out, Quantum of Solace, I thought that was a bit of a letdown to his first one being Casino Royale, but I have to say that his newest one that's currently, I think it's still filming, or it's
coming out, I think, this winter.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Skyfall, I think it's called. It looks really good. I think there's a new trailer for it on YouTube somewhere. Hold on, I'll send you guys a link.
I agree with you on that. Casino Royale was the better one.
Yeah.
By far.
Yeah. I have to say, barring Daniel Craig, I'd have to say the best James Bonds would have to be Pierce Brosnan, Roger Moore, Sean Connery, and yeah, I think that's it, pretty much, in my personal opinion, anyway.
I like Roger Moore because he was more of a lover than a fighter.
Yeah. So guys, there's the link to Skyfall trailer if you guys want to check it out and see what you think.
Sweet, cheers.
Yeah, Roger Moore's the one I remember the most too. My favorite James Bond is Moonraker, and
Oh my god, it's so good.
I love friggin' Jaws in that one, man.
Yeah. And then when they come out, they have like a Star Wars fight.
Yeah, I just wish that guy was my dad. You know.
And he always wore the tee.
And then there's a scene at the end where Jaws is with this skinny little blonde chick with glasses.
Yeah.
They're drinking champagne, and he finally speaks for the first time in the entire movie. I thought, whoa! I mean, that was when I was younger. I just thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was a great scene. I remember that.
yeah.
Also, Casino Royale was the first time they ever did a car with 6 barrel rolls, wasn't it?
Oh,
Don't know if you know.
Right.
Well, 6 complete barrel rolls. Door barrel roll.
There was always so much like sexual innuendos in those movies too, like and Roger Moore was like the worst for all those. Like the other guys, there were some of them in there, but Roger always had those lines, where you're just like,
Oh, yeah.
when he said them, you just always looked over at your wife or whatever, and she'd be just shaking her head, I can remember the one where the one woman was saying, oh, she had so much trouble, she didn't know what to do, and Roger's like, well, don't worry, we'll lick you into shape. I looked over at my wife, and she's just like, that's not funny. It was crazy movies.
yeah.
Sean Connery wouldn't do that. He'd just like punch him in the face. What'd you say to me? Oh!
Oh. I mean, some of my earlier childhood memories were actually watching the Roger Moore, Sean Connery movies, because I used to watch them with when I was over at my grandmother's house, because she used to tape them on VHS back in the day. So yeah, I used to watch those quite a bit, and I really enjoyed all of them, in all fairness. But I have to say, and I mean, this is probably something that you guys, well, you might agree, you might not, but I'd have to say the worst James Bond out of all of them would have to be George Lazenby. But then again, he only made one movie anyway, so yeah. And not many.
Which one was that?
Her Majesty's Secret Service?
Oh yeah, that one sucked.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It just
When
made
they're
no
that bad,
sense.
they're not. Well,
I mean, right at the end, I mean, where he's done his mission, he's got the girl, and then the next thing you know, the crazy woman from the KGB drives by on a motorcycle and she shoots her. I was like, that didn't make any sense. What the hell?
well, if you look at it, he took over for Sean Connery, and Sean Connery came right back after that movie and was like, "Oh, I'm doing them again."
It's like having Pierre Trudeau as the friggin' James Bond. Like, it's just not right.
Yeah.
Zut allure.
There's a good quote from Pierce Brosnan in Tomorrow Never Dies. It's like, whilst he's in bed with the Scandinavian language tutors, it's like, I always enjoyed learning a new tongue.
Right. That's a nice line. Yeah, man.
I'd have to say the worst. Well, not the worst, but the my least favorite of Pierce Brosnan's 007 movies would have to be Die Another Day. But then again, it's I mean,
Mhm.
I mean, you had Halle Berry in as the love interest. I mean, don't get me wrong, she's a good-looking lady, but she can't really act that well. Case in point, I mean, the Catwoman movie that she brought out. Oh my god! Oh.
Well, how
Well,
about
she-
that Gothica movie?
She could barely play Storm right. I mean, if you got to be honest, she could barely do that role.
I mean, there's a scene in X-Men 3 where she's fighting. Oh, I can't remember the name of the mutant she's fighting, but Storm gets her ass kicked in those movies more times than I can remember. But she's meant to be a fucking weather queen, for crying out loud. But
isn't her like power level like one of the most strongest mutants on Earth or something like that?
I'd imagine so. I mean, if you control all the elements of the weather, I mean, you'd have to be pretty powerful to do that. I mean, yeah.
If you can hit somebody with frickin' lightning, then I mean, there's a pretty good chance that people aren't gonna, stick their ice cream cone in your face too often. You know what I mean?
Well, I mean, think about Wolverine. If she fought Wolverine, he's got no chance.
Yeah, she just keeps hitting them with lightning. Hey, get up again. Let's get up again, lightning rod, and let's see what happens. No, I don't wanna.
Just wait till you're
Wolverine
asleep.
probably rely on his healing factor. I mean, he does that with the Phoenix at the end of X-Men 3, where he's trying to talk some sense into Jean, and she's basically trying to kill him, but he relies on his healing factor to save him. So, yeah.
Yeah. He'd look like a shish kebab every time she.
Yeah.
Burnt meat with a few veggies.
Oh yeah. Oh dear.
Are you back, Mark?
Yes, I am. I thought I'd just sort of like stay in the background for a bit until everybody stopped talking.
Thought you went on a beer run.
No. The wonderful technology that is Skype kicked me out, and
It
it
was,
completely screwed my computer up.
He was counting comics in the background.
So,
Yeah, I got carried away.
I like the one where you were counting and you were like supposed to go to 75 and like you went up into the 80s.
Yeah.
It just kept on going.
I wanted to yell at the screen, "Hey, you went too far!" Like he can't hear me.
609, 610. Wait a minute.
Oh, man.
I have to
Yeah.
say, I'm probably the one responsible for probably talking too much doing this podcast. So, yeah, I apologize for that, guys. Oh.
Oh man, that's what this is for, is to get people on and to have them talking about everything that's going on. That's why we do these podcasts. We're on here every week. We ramble on nonsense, so it's good to have new people on here.
Yeah, people only want to hear about Deadpool so much.
And that's not much at all.
Okay, go on. Sorry, I finished what you were going to say. Go on. Yeah, I think somebody's going to say something. I have to say, Deadpool is one of those characters that I never really. I like the character, but I think some of the writers that have sort of written his title. I mean, some of the humor, in my opinion, just it isn't for me. But then again, that's that could be any comic. I mean, you're not gonna like every single comic that you read. So I guess it's just one of those cases, I guess. But yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't have 5,000 titles if
Yeah.
I hate some of them.
Well, Phil's actually brainwashed me pretty bad, because I mean the new title that's coming out, I'm probably gonna pick it up because of him. So I mean I've gone into the cult of Deadpool and Phil. So, but I want to check it out, because I never collected Deadpool at all, other than I wanted to get his first appearance and stuff. But
Yeah.
so I'm gonna try it. I just want to see, because I know what you mean. You don't know whether to take him seriously or not, but then in some books he's great. I think he's brilliant in the Uncanny X-Force books. I love him in that book.
Yeah.
Well, I like that you can't take them seriously. You can pretty much do whatever you want with that book, and no one's going to give a shit, because, I mean, it's not taken seriously. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like if you did something ridiculous with Captain America, people are going to get in an uproar and get all upset about it. No, it's Deadpool.
Yeah. I mean, Captain America, you don't have to worry about him like whipping his pants down and like farting in somebody's face or something, right? Like, he's not going to do that.
Oh,
I know.
somebody just throw a custard pie or something in Captain America. Yeah.
Yeah. Starts like uncontrollably throwing up or something. That'd be great. I'd love to see that, but it's not going to happen.
He kicks Bucky right in the testicles.
I heard Batman did this to Robin once. Hold still. How's that feel? Sorry.
Oh. I have to say the best of the Deadpool titles I've read would have to be Cable and Deadpool. I mean, this was from a few years ago, but that was probably one of the best of the Deadpool titles that I've read personally.
Oh yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
It at near the end of the series, it kind of died off because they got like a big event going on, and so Cable like disappeared, and it was just Deadpool, and it was like, well, you ruined the humor of the whole book.
Yeah. I think one of my subscribers that I talked to on Skype quite a bit, he put it in pretty good context. He said that sometimes Deadpool's great on his own, but then when he's got other supporting characters that he can play off of, it's even better when he's got kind of other characters around him that you can, that'll play off of Deadpool's idiocy. Well, put in it, right anyway. So yeah.
I always thought Weasel was pretty good, but the best was definitely Hydra Bob. Whenever you got Hydra Bob around Deadpool, it's just hilarious because he just messes with him so bad.
Yeah. Have any of you guys read the Deadpool by Daniel Way or not? I believe he went on.
Which one is that?
Oh boy, the one with Deadpool starred in the Secret of it. It started off with the Secret Invasion storyline with the Skrull invasion. That's
Yeah, I've got almost that whole series. I'm just missing issues 1 and 2.
Yeah. What do you think of that series in your personal opinion?
Well, I really love it. I know a lot of people hate it, but it's got so much similarities with the first one, especially right now. Like, he's fighting the same characters that was predominantly in the original one in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I mean, the only thing that's different between his character is he's more playful, I would think, with his humor. And he breaks the fourth wall all the time, and he talks to himself in his head. He's got like multiple voices.
Yeah. I might give the Daniel Way stuff a reread and see if I can get maybe a bit more on board with it. Maybe.
I gotta say, personally, out of that series, I think the best story arc they had was Deadpool 19 to 21. The Hit Monkey.
Yeah, I would go with the Hit Monkey and see if you like that. And if you do, then you don't branch off from there.
If you want to see Deadpool dressed up as a French maid,
you know what my favorite book that they had was the Deadpool with a mouth.
Oh, Merc with the Mouth.
Yeah, where it had pop culture title covers.
So they had the zombie head pull on it.
Yeah, and puts the head on top of his head, and he's walking around in the zombie land. Oh boy,
That was pretty good.
I can't believe I don't own those Hit Monkey ones, seeing that I'm such a monkey freak.
I got Hit Monkey's first appearance.
Yeah.
So it's 19, 20, and 21? Is that what they are?
Well, that's the Deadpool series, but Hit Monkey's first appearance is a one-shot called Hit Monkey.
Oh, yeah, I got that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Heck yeah.
It's got a monkey on the cover. It's got to have it.
He's wearing a suit and glasses.
Yep. Yep, it's awesome. I love it.
Isn't Hit Monkey supposed to be coming back in Deadpool for the last few
Yeah.
issues?
Well, that'll be
Okay.
cool.
It's a good way to send Daniel Wade off. I mean,
Are any of you guys interested in the Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out 2014, I believe, if I remember correctly? Yeah. DC apparently Guardians of the Galaxy movie or something? Or Marvel? No, Marvel. What am I talking about? Yeah, Marvel. Anyway.
Yeah, I love the Guardians of the Galaxy, but I like the original ones, so none of those ones will be in the movie, unfortunately.
Although Rocket Raccoon will be.
Yeah, but I don't give a crap about that Rocket Raccoon.
ever since I saw a picture for him, he's one of my favorites.
Oh, I hope he's the first one to get a bullet between the eyes. What do you think, Rocket? Bang!
Did you see that the issues of Marvel Premiere #7 have gone through the roof?
Have they
Because that's
really?
the- Yeah, because that's the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon.
Nice. I don't know if
I got it on my want list on my comic shop, but I mean,
Yeah, beforehand you could pick it up for like about £5, £6, $8, something like $10. Now it's gone up to something ridiculous, like about $150.
what?
Wow.
Oh, that's ridiculous.
Yeah,
He's just a raccoon.
the movie isn't even out yet.
Wow.
So
The movie will
good
come out and it'll go back down to $1.
Yeah.
Actually, I was going to put a picture of Rocket Raccoon as my YouTube avatar, but I kind of took it down and put something else up. But yeah. In the end, I decided to put a Chris Pachallo drawing of Gambit as my avatar. So yeah. Anyway, bit of a random thing there, but never mind.
Fair enough. Random's good.
Yesterday we on the podcast we got talking about mullets because a couple of people had a picture of a mullet on their thing.
Yeah.
And I got to tell you, so everybody started putting pictures of mullets up. 123 Comic Man put a picture of this little girl with a mullet up, but she had an upside down cross on her forehead.
Yeah.
Probably the spookiest / picture I've ever seen. It just, oh man, I thought I was gonna pass out and barf on myself at the same time. I was laughing so hard.
Did any of you guys enter it 123 Comic Man's contest that he did a couple of weeks ago? Or that he put up. So anyway.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I just did the joke though because I wanted to do a really bad joke and mine was horrible.
Yeah.
Hey, did you see that character that Liefeld drew? I got it as my avatar now.
Hang on.
Might take a look.
Oh man, it's a big pouch with guns and no.
and it's wearing pouches.
That's awesome. I think he's got that as a tattoo on his arm, doesn't he?
Oh man.
That's not done by Liefeld. That's not got enough pouches. I can see spaces where you could put pouches in there, no problem. It's not there.
Exactly. His whole legs don't have no pouches on it. Like, what's going on? Come on.
It's not those little leg straps things on there. Come on.
There's enough on those guns for pouches too.
He was getting
Oh,
hurt.
There is pouches on the gun. I just noticed. That's horrible.
There are pouches on the gun. There are.
Oh man. You know, if you click the top of that pouch open to see where his head is, and if you flipped it open, it'd be filled with pouches, right? So, jeez, or feet, one or the other.
I can see that being made into a new movie. The Pouch.
Starring Colin Farrell.
I could see him making a good pouch, yeah.
That'd be the best role he was ever in. Colin Farrell as the Pouch. Oh God, that's brilliant. Good Lord. And the bad guy could be Mr. Bean. It'd be perfect.
I don't think I've laughed this much in. Oh boy, I can't remember the last time I laughed this much. Oh. Oh.
That's good. That's good.
I don't know when the next podcast. I'd imagine there'll be another podcast fairly soon. So, if I wouldn't mind, coming back with another one. So, yeah. Just thought I'd throw that out there anyway. So, yeah.
Yeah, the best thing to do is to get on the Skype whenever you hear there's another one going on, and usually whoever hosts it's the one who kind of snags everybody and throws us into a room.
Yeah.
Unless, well, I mean, depending on if you know what day it is. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always make a video like on Wednesday saying.
I was just shot at Jay, but he didn't hear me.
Yeah.
He's like, I just wasn't paying attention to you. Just shut up.
He was admiring the pouches.
I emailed Mark and I was like, man, are we doing a podcast? What's going on? He's like, I don't know. And then Connor got on and he's like, what's going on? I said, I don't know, man. It's like, man, I don't know. Hope he didn't get killed in a car accident or something, or maybe he got crushed by a tree, or I don't know. He fell into the deep fryer. I don't know. Here the whole time you're at home, freaking reading Hunger Games and eating grilled cheese sandwiches.
Drinking Dr. Pepper.
Delicious.
Yeah. Thank God you're alive, but I mean, geez. Don't you love those people that they're so mad, I hope they get I hope they get ringworm, so mad, and then all of a sudden they're fine, and it's like, oh, well, you're okay then. Or no, actually that's the other way around. See, I messed that up. Everybody's like, I hope nothing's happened to them. When they find out they do, then they say all these kind of nasty things about it. Like, I hope you get ringworm.
I hope you get ringworm.
Reading Robert Kirkman's Seed of Thieves by any chance?
No.
No? Oh.
I'm getting that. I'm reading it, but I haven't read it since issue 4. I keep buying them and
Yeah.
I'm away, but I haven't read any past number 4. It just hasn't really piqued my interest enough to keep reading it. But
Yeah. Apparently, another really good one is I can't remember who does the writing, but it's called Think Tank or something. It's another image book.
Yeah.
Let's see if I can find the writer for it.
what's it called?
Think
Think
Tank.
Tank, think or something.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I wish I would have got on board with Manhattan Project when it came out.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I'll just have to read the trade though.
Yeah, I'm seriously thinking of reordering Manhattan Project because it's out in, I think it'll be out in trade in just over 3 weeks. I'm seriously thinking of pre-ordering that trade.
Yeah, I heard that's really good.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah,
Think Tank is done by Matt Hawkins and Rashan Akidal.
yeah.
I wish these people would have names that I could pronounce.
Bob Brown,
Yeah.
Jack Smith.
Mike Smith.
I hate saying people's names when you're talking about the book. especially online. 'Cause then you sound like an uneducated retard. I mean, I am an uneducated retard, but I don't want people to know that.
Yeah, exactly.
I have that same problem during my some of my review videos that I do on my channel. Sometimes I can't pronounce a writer or illustrator's name, and I'm just funnily enough, a classic example is where I did a review of the first trade of Wolverine and the X-Men, and I was arguing with myself about the pronunciation of even now I can't say it. The real name of Kid Omega, Quentin Quire, I think is his name, but I was arguing with myself during the video how to pronounce it. But anyway, I think I got it right in the end, so yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a weird name, Quentin Quire.
Yeah.
Strange.
Yeah. But I gotta be honest, he's an awesome character in the comic. I mean, he's a pretty badass character in all fairness. So yeah. Are any of you guys reading Wolverine and the X-Men at the moment, or not?
No.
Oh yeah, that's a good book. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
It's weird because for some reason I thought that book was just gonna like die off or something, because it was like the flagship, Uncanny title. It's funny how the Uncanny title is the one that got canceled.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think issue 4, I think it was issue 14 or 15 of Wolverine and the X-Men came out a couple of weeks ago. The issue where Kitty Pryde and Colossus go on a date or something, and
Yeah.
I've got the first trade, I think it's the Regenesis trade or something. It reprints the first or collects the first 7 issues of the series. So yeah, that's actually something I want to touch on. Actually, I don't know what. It seems to be a reoccurring thing with Marvel at the moment, or the publisher who bring out their trades anyway. They're doing, I think. Hang on. Give me 2 seconds. Sorry, I just had to reject the the publishing company are only reprinting 4 issues at a time of a Marvel book. Now, don't get me wrong, I would pick up the trades with the 4 issues, but I just, I like a bit more sort of comic for my money. But then again, that's just my, personal preference, I guess. So, yeah. I don't know whether you guys have noticed, with picking up trades, but I just thought I'd bring that to you guys' attention. So, yeah.
It seems like they raised the price on the trades too, a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it might have been like $5 or something like that, but in the last couple of years, it seems like they've raised them just a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, I tend to get most of mine, online anyway, because they tend to be a lot cheaper online rather than buying them in, decent bookstores such as Waterstones and certainly, well, not that there's anything against them, but my local comic book shop in Birmingham, in the UK, called Nostalgia and Comics. I mean, I tend to buy some of my trades from there, but they're only kind of a last resort because they can be quite expensive, even in a comic shop. But that's just, I guess that's probably where I am, because obviously Birmingham is a fairly large city anyway, so I'd imagine they'd be a bit more pricey in the bigger areas, I guess. I don't know. I'm just guessing. But, yeah.
I wish DC would put out more trades of some of the older stuff that they had back in like 60s, 70s, 80s. It'd be nice if they brought some of that stuff out in trades.
Yeah, because one of the series that DC have put out at the moment, I think they've reprinted the first 10 issues of Commandy, I think, by Jack Kirby.
Yeah.
Apparently, according to Sleepy Reader 666, the paper of the trade is the kind of paper that will yellow after a while. So I'm hoping that they bring out kind of a better quality trade of Commander. Because I really want to check that out and see what that's about. So yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's too bad that they didn't bring those Commandy trades out in like the Baxter paper stuff. That would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Hmm.
They do take quite a long time to bring out their trades. I mean, the second volumes of Animal Man and Swamp Thing, I mean, they're not going to be coming out in trades until January of next year, I think, according to...
Well, that's because they want you to buy the books, the singles.
Yeah.
So they push off the trade so that, try to force you to buy them or whatever.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kind of a little bit sneaky, but I guess they gotta, keep themselves afloat with money and whatnot. So, yeah.
I'm excited. I think Swamp Thing comes out this week, the first trade, and I'm excited to read that.
Yeah.
That's a movie I bet you that they're going to be putting out. I can see that coming out.
Swamp Thing.
Yep, another one. A good one, though.
Yeah.
Well, he made an appearance in the the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he was the green guy.
I thought it was Man Thing.
I think it was Man Thing channeling the spirit of Swamp Thing. Oh, you mushroomy good thing, you. Well, Jay, are we going to wrap it up?
Yeah, I need to eat something. It's like 10 to 9 at the moment. I still haven't eaten anything to eat. I will leave you with this quote from Casino Royale as the chief tortures Bond by smashing his nuts in with a carpet beater. Now the whole world will know you died scratching my balls.
Oh, boy.
Fantastic.
I can almost feel that.
Yeah.
That movie made me cry when I saw that part.
All right, fellas.
Next week, I'll make sure I'm on time.
No problem.
I'll try and remember.
No worries.
Okay, guys. Nice to speak to you all, and speak to you soon.
Okay, it was good to meet you, Ben.
Thank you. Nice to meet
Yeah.
you.
Nice
To
to
meet
meet
you officially, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, fellas, we'll talk to you later.
Okay, see you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Have fun. All.
Take care.